I think community housing has got a real strength in that we're based in local communities. And so we have an understanding of the community and that we know what kind of wraparound supports people need in order to sustain their tenancies. So I think what's different often between us and Kaingaora is the level of support, whether it be social service support, whether it be community development workers that are provided in the housing developments that we do. So for example, if I think about, we've got a new housing development of 15 family homes. We bought a 16th house to use as a community house. We employ a community development worker who's in that house, and his job has really been to build neighbourhoods and build community between those different families. And it's really exciting to see what's happened. I think why it works is that people can be really isolated, families can be really isolated. What's needed sometimes is a connector, somebody who introduces neighbours to each other, who provides activities for people to do. So what's happened at the Guild Street community is the community development worker organises, they celebrate special days. So the Samoan residents wanted to support and celebrate Samoa's National Day. And so that's what they did. And everybody in the community came together. Christmas time, everybody comes together and has a celebration. At the community house, the kids just absolutely love it. After school, you'll find them all gathering there, really strong relationships between the kids who live there. And as they're getting older, we're trying to provide things that are going to help them live well. So the latest ones is, when the kids moved in kind of 3 years ago, it was kind of playgrounds, but now it's basketball hoops. So we've just put in a new pad and new basketball. Somewhere different as the kids kind of age and place, we can encourage them in those kind of ways. Yeah, they've all been on the social housing register, so they've all been in desperate housing need when they came into the complex. I think it's to prevent the kind of ghettoisation that people are afraid of. It's about social support. It's about helping people to build that sense of community, and it's that which prevents the kind of ghettoisation that people are often afraid of. It's just about promoting those connections, building a strong sense of neighbourhood. So within this particular community, we have got Samoan, Tongan, Māori, Pākehā, Afghani and Iranian, I think. So there's six different ethnicities, and some of celebrating the national days, important things in people's cultural events, helps to build that sense of understanding. One of the beautiful examples is there was a woman there, a Muslim woman with her whānau, and she needed some help with supermarket shopping, and one of her male neighbours offered to help. And of course she said no, she wasn't going to go with this male neighbour to go and get her supermarket shopping. And the male neighbour kind of thought it through and thought, oh yeah, it's probably because I'm a man. So he talked to another neighbour, another solo mum, to say, hey, will you come with us to the supermarket shopping so that this woman actually feels comfortable in doing this together. So the three of them, 3 households, all went off to do their grocery shopping. And it's that way that it's promoting and building understanding of each other and how it's best to respond in given circumstances. Yeah, certainly when we established the Guild Street community, there was an outcry from the neighbours when they heard that it was going to be social housing on their back doorstep. We had a public meeting. It was the longest hour of my life, as the neighbours were really up in arms about the type of people who were going to be in their backyard. We had to do particular plantings so that we were using relocatable houses. We'd do particular plantings so that the local neighbours wouldn't be able to see the houses next door. And I think this is what we've got to get over. Social housing has got such a bad rap. And I think what's really exciting, if I look around Ōtautahi Christchurch now, you actually can't tell the difference between what's a house built by either Kāinga a community housing provider, or Williams Corporation or Brookfield. They all look the same. And I think that's really exciting. We've got to get over our stigmatisation of people who actually need social housing. After the earthquakes, there were a lot of houses that were built for people having their earthquake repairs done. They were relocatable houses placed on parks. When they were no longer needed, we were asked whether we would like to buy some. And so we said we'd like to buy 15 of them, having no idea where we were actually going to put them. And so we started looking for land. And after about 2 years, we came across a piece of land that was owned by Anglican Care, where a rest home and hospital had been destroyed in the earthquakes. And this land was absolutely perfect for the relocatable houses, because the relocatable houses are really light. If there's a further earthquake event, they can be pulled off land and the piles fixed and put back on again, because the land was quite compromised and wasn't good for subdividing and selling off. So that was to our benefit. So we negotiated with Anglican Care, and they were kind enough to agree to lease us this land for 35 years. And so from there, the houses were transferred, and we've got this fabulous new community on 15,000 square metres of land. So it's a beautiful patch of land, but it's not good land for building. It's got creeks on two sides, but it's got lovely, lovely bush around it, and it's a great place for kids to grow up. I think it's been so successful because it's a great partnership between Anglican Care and the Christchurch Methodist Mission and the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development. We've also had good support from the Wayne Francis Charitable Trust, who have provided the funding for the community development worker, and the local Methodist Synod provided half the money for the community house. So it's been a real collaboration. And then it's really about the whānau, the families who actually live in those houses, and the way that they've got on board with building this really strong sense of community. People come into a community like Guild Street with their own history, with their own story, with their own vulnerabilities. They've all been on the social housing register, so they're in desperate housing need. And I think the job of Renee, the community worker, has just been to get alongside those whānau, build confidence, and then look and see how they want to live, what they want this place to be like. And it's gone from there. I think what we need to have across the country is mixed communities, because it's only as we get to know our neighbours that it breaks down the stereotypes. And we know that across ethnicities, across gender lines, across sexual orientation. It's when you actually get to know somebody that actually you stop putting them in a they category. And that's where I think we need social housing alongside first homeowners, alongside not first homeowners, people who may be middle class, and the wealthier communities. It's then that actually we can really start to build a much more integrated society. Tauaponomi Community Housing Providers Network brings together all of the community housing providers across the South Island, and it's a chance for us to share information, share learnings, talk about problems that we're having, look at strategies together. I think some of the strength in the network has been that for all of us, we have got a vision that is greater than any individual agency. So we really want to see every person in the South Island well housed, where kids can thrive, where adults can live positive lives, where older people have security. And so it's not a competitive relationship. We will always work really collaboratively together. And then we've done that through forming collaborations like Housing First for people who have been long-term homeless. 6 agencies got together and said, hey, we can do this so much better if we do this together. We see it in transitional housing. All the transitional housing providers get together and work together. another program called Sustaining Tenancies. We've made a single point of entry to make it easier for referrals coming in, and then it's our problem about what agency picks them up. So probably we learned some things from the earthquakes in terms of how to work together, but I think more so it's because we've got that broader vision of what we really want to see happen. I'm really concerned about older people in Aotearoa and the growing number of older people who are reaching retirement age without having any assets in a house and what's going to happen. They're going to be relying on rent. Rents have gone up so much that they're out of reach. They're often stuck in places that are not suitable for their needs. And I think we've got a crisis coming our way of poverty and growing poverty in older people unless we address the issue of older persons housing. At the Christchurch Methodist Mission, we've got Wesley Village, which has got 60 or 70 units, affordable rental properties where they pay probably 70% of a market rent. We've got a waiting list of 70 or 80 people for those houses, only 3 or 4 turnover a year. We could build another Wesley Village tomorrow and fill it up immediately from that waiting list. That's my real concern. We need to be putting more emphasis on what we see coming down the track. What's stopping us building is land. You need a decent sized piece of land, so actually being able to find that land and then funding to be able to make it work.